My friend, success is never a sudden explosion of luck or opportunity. It is the quiet accumulation of choices we make every single day. Too often we look at the end result of someone's journey, the wealth, the health, the recognition, and we forget the countless small, seemingly insignificant steps that carried them there. A seed does not become a tree overnight. It requires nurturing, consistency, and patience. In the same way, your dreams are not achieved by leaps, but by steady steps. Remember this: the small things you do consistently are far more powerful than the big things you do occasionally. When you water a plant daily, it thrives. When you practice a skill daily, you master it. When you commit to growth daily, you transform. Success is not about what you do once. It's about what you do repeatedly. 1. Consistency beats intensity. 500 words when most people think about success. They imagine it arriving in one grand dramatic moment. They imagine a breakthrough, a lucky chance, or one huge leap forward that suddenly changes everything. But the truth is, success is rarely about one massive action. It is about the consistent, often quiet actions that are repeated day after day. A person who decides to study for just 30 minutes every night will know more in a year than someone who studies all day but only once a month. A person who walks for 30 minutes each day will be healthier and stronger than someone who runs for 10 miles once a year. Consistency is the difference between short-lived results and lasting transformation. Intensity can create excitement, but consistency creates growth. Intensity is fueled by emotions, fluctuate, but consistency is rooted in commitment. Commitment lasts even when the emotions fade. When you decide to show up every day, even if only in small ways, you're training yourself to live with purpose rather than impulse. Consider the example of someone who wants to write a book. Sitting down and writing 10,000 words in one night may sound impressive, but the writer who writes 500 words each day will finish their book long before the one who waits for rare bursts of inspiration. In the same way, a person who wants to get fit doesn't need to push themselves to exhaustion once a week. They simply need to move their body daily. Over time, the accumulation of those small efforts creates an unstoppable momentum. Secret is that consistency compounds. Each day builds upon the last. When you show up regularly, your mind, body, and spirit adapt and grow. You begin to see progress, and progress itself becomes motivation. You stop needing discipline because consistency creates a natural rhythm. Intensity is seductive, but it often fades quickly. Consistency may seem less glamorous, but it builds a foundation that cannot be shaken. The tallest skyscrapers are not built on sudden explosions of effort. They are built brick by brick, day after day, with patience and precision. Your life is no different. If you want true success, don't chase after bursts of intensity. Instead, commit to showing up in small but steady ways every single day. Even if your progress feels slow, you are moving forward. And as long as you are moving forward, you are winning. Over time, those small, consistent steps will take you further than you ever imagined possible. Your life is not shaped by the big events alone. It is shaped by what you do, repeatedly. What you do occasionally may have an impact, but what you do consistently creates your future. This is why habits are so powerful. They are the building blocks of destiny. Think about it. Brushing your teeth once will not give you healthy teeth, but brushing them daily protects you for a lifetime. Saving money once will not build wealth, but saving consistently will create financial freedom. Eating one healthy meal will not transform your body, but making healthy eating a habit will completely reshape your health over time. Your habits are like seeds planted into the soil of your life. Each day you water them with your actions. Some habits lead to growth and flourishing, while others slowly drain your potential. The key to success is not to wait for a big change. It is to plant the right seeds and nurture them daily. Science tells us that habits are formed through repetition. The more often you repeat an action, the more your brain wires itself to make that action automatic. Over time, what once required effort becomes effortless. This is why habits are more powerful than motivation. Motivation can fade, but habits carry you even when you don't feel motivated. Imagine a person who reads just 10 pages of a book every day. That may not feel like much, but in a year, they will have read over 3,600 pages, equivalent to about 15 to 20 books. That knowledge compounds and changes the way they think, the opportunities they see, and the choices they make. In the same way, someone who saves just a small portion of their income daily may not feel wealthy at first, but over years, they build security and freedom. Habits are the hidden force shaping your future. The question is, are your habits aligned with the life you want to live? If not, now is the time to change them. You don't need to change everything at once. Simply replace one negative habit with a positive one. Over time, those small adjustments redirect the entire trajectory of your life. Great success is never the result of luck. It is the result of disciplined habits. Choose your habits wisely, because they are writing the story of your destiny. We live in a world that glorifies speed. Fast food, fast internet, instant results. Our culture teaches us that if something takes too long, it's not worth waiting for. But the truth is, every meaningful achievement requires patience. Growth cannot be rushed. A seed needs time to sprout. A child needs time to learn. And success needs time to unfold. Patience is not weakness. It is strength. It is the bridge between effort and reward. Think of the farmer. He plants seeds in the soil, waters them, and protects them from weeds. Yet, no matter how much he desires a quick harvest, he cannot force the crops to grow overnight. The process must run its course. If the farmer becomes impatient and digs up the seeds to check their progress, he destroys them. In the same way, when we become impatient with our own progress, we sabotage the very success we are trying to create. Patience does not mean inaction. It means trusting the process while continuing to take small steps each day. When you practice patience, you understand that every effort is building something, even if you cannot yet see the results. Just as the roots of a tree grow deep before the branches reach the sky, your small daily actions are preparing you for the visible success that will one day emerge. Impatience often leads to giving up too soon. Many people quit not because they lack ability, but because they lack patience. They mistake slow progress for no progress. But slow progress is still progress. The tortoise did not win the race because he was fast. He won because he kept moving step by step with patience and persistence. Patience also protects your peace of mind. Without it, frustration takes over and frustration drains energy. With patience, you remain calm, centered, and focused. You can enjoy the journey instead of rushing toward the destination. Success is not just about reaching the goal. It's about who you become along the way. Patience allows you to grow into the person who can handle the success when it finally arrives. When you feel discouraged because your results are taking time, remind yourself, a diamond takes years of pressure to form. A masterpiece takes years of practice to perfect. And your life's success is no different. Be patient, stay consistent, and trust that every step is bringing you closer. Patience is not waiting for success to find you. It is faithfully walking toward it every day, knowing it will reveal itself in time. One of the greatest traps that holds people back is the pursuit of perfection. We often delay action because we want everything to be flawless before we begin. We hesitate, overthink, and wait for the perfect moment, but perfection is an illusion. It does not exist. What truly matters is progress, not perfection. Perfection creates paralysis. You tell yourself, I'll start when I'm ready, when I have more money, when I feel confident, when everything is in place. But those moments rarely arrive. Meanwhile, the opportunity to grow slips away. The person waiting for perfection never begins, while the person focused on progress moves forward and transforms. Success does not come from flawless execution. It comes from taking imperfect steps consistently. Every master was once a beginner who made mistakes. Every successful person has failed more times than others have even tried. The difference is that they valued progress over perfection. Consider a child learning to walk. They fall repeatedly. If they waited until they could walk perfectly without stumbling, they would never take a step. But because they focus on progress, each fall teaches them balance, and eventually they master walking. The same principle applies to your dreams. Mistakes are not proof of failure, they are proof of growth. When you focus on progress, you free yourself from the weight of unrealistic expectations. You begin to celebrate small wins, which fuel your motivation. Writing one page today may not finish your book, but it is progress. Saving a small amount may not make you rich today, but it is progress. Exercising for 15 minutes may not give you instant fitness, but it is progress. These small steps accumulate, and over time, progress becomes transformation. Perfection is rigid and unforgiving. Progress is flexible and compassionate. Perfection tells you, you're not good enough yet. Progress whispers, you keep going, you're getting better every day. One destroys your confidence while the other builds it. When you embrace progress, you shift your focus from outcomes to growth. You stop comparing yourself to others and start comparing yourself to who you were yesterday. That shift is powerful. You no longer feel behind. You feel alive in the process of becoming. Remember this: progress, no matter how small, is success in motion. The road to your dreams is not paved with perfection, but with persistence. Do not wait for the perfect time or the perfect plan. Start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can. Each imperfect step forward is infinitely more valuable than waiting forever to take a perfect step. Focus on progress, and you will discover that success is not a destination. It is a journey of daily growth. When most people think of small steps, they focus only on the visible results: losing weight, earning more money, or achieving recognition. But the truth is, the greatest gift of small daily actions is not what you achieve outwardly, but who you become inwardly. Each step you take builds discipline, resilience, and confidence. Success is not just about reaching your goals. It is about becoming the kind of person who can sustain and expand those goals. Every time you choose effort over excuses, you strengthen your character. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you build self-trust. And every time you persist despite difficulty, you develop resilience. These qualities are worth more than any external reward because they form the foundation of lasting success. Think of a muscle. At first it feels weak and fragile. But with consistent use, it becomes stronger. The same is true of your willpower, your focus, and your confidence. They may feel small at first, but with practice, they grow powerful. The steps you take daily are like exercises for your inner strength. For example, imagine someone who commits to waking up early every morning. At first, it feels uncomfortable. Their body resists. But each time they honor that commitment, they build discipline. That discipline doesn't just help them wake up. It spills over into other areas of life, helping them stay consistent at work, in health, and in relationships. One small step becomes a catalyst for massive change because it strengthens the person within. Inner strength also protects you during setbacks. Life is unpredictable. Challenges and failures are inevitable. But if you have built resilience through daily effort, you won't crumble under pressure. Instead, you'll rise stronger, using adversity as fuel for growth. Small steps also build confidence. Confidence is not born from sudden success. It is born from daily proof that you can rely on yourself. Each day you take action, you create evidence that you are capable. That evidence becomes belief, and that belief transforms into unshakable confidence. So remember, every small step is more than progress toward a goal. It is training for your soul. Success is temporary if it is not matched with inner strength. When you build yourself day by day, no obstacle can defeat you. Every step you take is not just leading you somewhere. It is shaping you into someone unstoppable. One of the greatest truths about life is that small steps, repeated consistently, lead to massive transformation. At first, they seem invisible. You may not notice the change after a day, a week, or even a month. But over time, the compounding effect of those tiny actions becomes undeniable. Consider the river. It does not carve valleys through sheer force. It carves them through persistence. Drop by drop, flow by flow, it shapes entire landscapes. The same principle applies to your life. Small, steady actions will shape your reality in ways you cannot yet imagine. Many people quit because they underestimate the power of tiny steps. They say, it's just a little progress. It doesn't matter. But those little steps matter more than they realize. Reading one page a day may not seem like much, but over years it makes you wise. Saving $1 a day may feel insignificant, but over decades it creates wealth. Practicing gratitude for 1 minute daily may feel small, but over time it transforms your entire outlook on life. Massive transformation is not about doing something extraordinary once. It is about doing something ordinary consistently. That is the secret. It is not the big leap, but the small step repeated. That changes everything. Think about water boiling. At 211 degrees, it is hot. At 212 degrees, it boils and creates steam powerful enough to move trains. That 1 degree of difference comes from persistence. The same is true for you. Every small step raises your temperature. Eventually, you will reach the point of transformation, and your life will take off in ways that seem sudden. But in reality, they were built by years of small efforts. Transformation is not magic. It is math. Little by little adds up to a lot. Day by day becomes a lifetime. Step by step builds a journey. When you understand this, you stop underestimating small efforts and start embracing them as the seeds of greatness. So never despise small beginnings. Every step counts. Every effort matters. And over time, those tiny steps will create a transformation so profound that even you will be amazed at how far you've come. My friends, success is not found in sudden breakthroughs or overnight miracles. It is built slowly, steadily, and quietly through the choices you make every single day. Each small step, no matter how insignificant it feels, is shaping your destiny. When you choose consistency over intensity, you create momentum. When you build positive habits, you write the blueprint of your future. When you embrace patience, you trust the process instead of rushing it. When you focus on progress instead of perfection, you free yourself to grow. When you take daily steps, you build inner strength that no one can take away. And when you keep walking, those tiny steps compound into massive transformation. Success does not belong to the lucky, it belongs to the consistent. It belongs to those who keep showing up, even when it feels hard, even when the results are not yet visible. Remember, slow progress is still progress, and progress, no matter how small, is the surest path to success. One day you will look back and realize that the big success you dreamed of was not the result of one giant leap. It was the result of thousands of small steps. Each day mattered. Each choice mattered. And because you kept walking, you arrived exactly where you were meant to be. So start today. Take one small step, then another, and another. Do not underestimate them. They are the bricks that build your future. Walk with faith, with patience, and with persistence. The success you seek is not far away. It is unfolding with every step you take. My friends, success is never about giant leaps or sudden miracles. It is about the small, steady steps you choose to take every single day. The world often shows us the highlight reels of others. The big wins, the breakthroughs, the moments of triumph. But behind every story of success are years of small, quiet efforts that no one sees. It is in those unseen moments that greatness is built. Every small choice you make matters. When you choose consistency over intensity, you create a rhythm that carries you forward. When you build positive habits, you set in motion a future that will reflect those habits. When you practice patience, you trust the natural timing of your journey instead of rushing it. And when you focus on progress instead of perfection, you free yourself to grow without fear of failure. Do not underestimate what happens within you as you take these steps. Each effort builds strength. Each choice builds character. And over time, these inner qualities become your greatest allies on the road to success. What seems small today will one day be the reason you stand strong, confident, and capable in the face of life's challenges. Think of how rivers shape mountains. Not through sudden bursts of force, but through steady persistence. Think of how a child learns to walk, not by waiting until they can do it perfectly, but by stumbling forward again and again. Life rewards movement, not perfection. It rewards persistence, not impatience. One day you will look back and realize that the big success you dreamed of wasn't one moment at all. It was the sum of thousands of little choices, little steps, little victories. And you'll see that every step mattered. So start today. Take one small step toward your health, your relationships, your dreams, your growth. Do not wait for the perfect time, because the perfect time is always now. Do not wait for motivation, because action creates motivation. And do not fear slow progress, because slow progress is still progress. Now, remember, big success is nothing more than small steps multiplied over time. Keep walking, keep growing, and trust that with every step you are becoming the person you were always meant to be. My friend, success is never about giant leaps or sudden miracles. It is about the small, steady steps you choose to take every single day. The world often shows us the highlight reels of others, the big wins, the breakthroughs, the moments of triumph. But behind every story of success are years of small, quiet efforts that no one sees. It is in those unseen moments that greatness is built. Every small choice you make matters. When you choose consistency over intensity, you create a rhythm that carries you forward. When you build positive habits, you set in motion a future that will reflect those habits. When you practice patience, you trust the natural timing of your journey instead of rushing it. And when you focus on progress instead of perfection, you free yourself to grow without fear of failure. Do not underestimate what happens within you as you take these steps. Each effort builds strength. Each choice builds character. And over time, these inner qualities become your greatest allies on the road to success. What seems small today will one day be the reason you stand strong, confident, capable in the face of life's challenges. Think of how rivers shape mountains, not through sudden bursts of force, but through steady persistence. Think of how a child learns to walk, not by waiting until they can do it perfectly, but by stumbling forward again and again. Life rewards movement, not perfection. It rewards persistence, not impatience. One day you will look back and realize that the big success you dreamed of wasn't one moment at all. It was the sum of thousands of little choices, little steps, little victories. And you'll see that every step mattered. So start today. Take one small step toward your health, your relationships, your dreams, your growth.